accidentally saw something I shouldn't have, and now the nicest woman I know is in prison. A customer I had never seen before grabbed my wrist hard and said, "I wouldn't get too close to Nora if I were you." He took his latte and walked out before I could even respond. That warning made zero sense because Nora was the sweetest person on our entire staff and everyone loved her. She regularly brought us all homemade cookies, and she remembered all the regulars' orders without ever checking the screen. I almost laughed it off, but something about the bruises already forming on my wrist told me he was not joking. I decided to start paying closer attention to the woman I thought I knew. The next day, I dropped a stack of cups in the back room, and Nora's sleeve rode up when she bent down to help me pick them up. I noticed she had a thick scar that ran from her wrist to her elbow, like someone had tried to fillet her arm. When I asked her what happened, her eyes went dead and her voice dropped. "Don't ever ask me that again." Then she blinked and smiled like nothing happened. "Sorry, I just hate talking about it," she said in her normal bubbly voice. The shift between those two versions of her made me want to back away slowly. A few days later, I went to take out the trash and heard her on the phone behind the dumpsters. "The target will be alone Thursday night. I need the payment in the account by midnight or the deal is off," she said. I must have made a sound because she spun around so fast I flinched. She stared at me for a long second before laughing. "Sorry, you scared me. I was just talking to my brother. We are planning a surprise party and he is being impossible about the gift." I nodded, but my hands were shaking when I walked back inside. That didn't sound like a conversation about a surprise party to me. The following week, a man twice my size started screaming at me because I got his order wrong. He leaned over the counter calling me names and I felt tears building in my eyes. Then Nora stepped between us. She said something to him so quietly I could not hear it. His face went white and he practically ran out of the shop without his drink or his money. I asked her what she said and she just smiled. Some people only understand one language. I cautiously smiled back. One night I saw her leave after closing, and for some reason I decided to follow her. She drove all the way across town to a neighborhood where half the streetlights were broken and parked near an abandoned warehouse. She got out of the car and met a man in the shadows. I thought maybe it was a boyfriend or something until I heard him begging. He was on his knees saying, "Please, I'll do anything." Nora just stood there looking down at him like he was an insect. "You had your chance, sicko," she said. Then she pulled out a gun and shot him twice in the chest before he could say another word. He fell over and she casually pulled out her phone to send a text. The same woman who made me soup when I was sick had just executed someone not even 30 feet away from me. Then she looked up suddenly and her eyes swept toward my car. I ducked so fast I hit my head on the steering wheel and bit down on my hand to keep from screaming. I didn't move or breathe again until I finally heard her car drive away. My hands were shaking so bad on the way home that I almost sideswiped a parked car. I sat in my apartment until 3 in the morning trying to convince myself I imagined the whole thing, but I knew I hadn't. I called the police and told them everything. I did not sleep at all that night and walked into work the next morning on autopilot. My coworkers were huddled around a phone behind the counter. "Wait, Nora? Our Nora?" I pushed closer and read the article over their shoulders. The police had arrested her early that morning in connection with 7 murders. Every single person she killed had been a convicted predator who walked free on a technicality. I had turned in the only person making sure those monsters faced real consequences.